Major firepower on display in the Middle East. CENTCOM today releasing this video of the, quote, most integrated air defense umbrella in the history of the region, as the Department of War says things are getting intense.
Today will be, yet again, our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers, the most strikes. Intelligence more refined and better than ever. On day 10 of Operation Epic Fury, we are winning with an overwhelming and unrelenting focus on our objectives. Iran stands alone, and they are badly losing.
Iran is losing. We are winning. But you wouldn't know it based on some of the headlines. You don't have to take my word for it. Mark Penn, a former advisor to President Bill Clinton, pointing it out on X. Iran coverage, the headlines abound. Examples: Iran regime doing well, in control. Trump under pressure to end war. Khomeini's son, just as tough as the father. U.S. responsible for missile on school. One headline after another essentially featuring Iranian propaganda as the news. Thus writes the former advisor to President Bill Clinton. The White House today, though, setting the record straight.
Let me be clear. It is a good thing to wipe out terrorists who indiscriminately target civilians and attempt to hold the global economy hostage. And President Trump should be commended for doing so.
This has been asked. We've asked the question right here on The Will Cain Show. Operation Epic Fury, what is the objective? 3 military objectives as laid out by Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff today.
Joint Force remains focused on 3 military objectives. Continue to destroy Iranian ballistic missiles and drone capability in order to prevent attacks on the U.S. and others throughout the region. And this means attacking launch sites, command and control nodes, stockpiles before they can threaten our personnel, our facilities, and our partners. Second, we continue to strike the Iranian Navy and their capabilities in order to do things like sustain movement through the Straits of Hormuz. And third, we continue to start working on and going deeper into Iran's military and industrial base in order to prevent the regime from being able to attack Americans, our interests, and our partners for years to come and project power outside their borders. CENTCOM continues to make progress across the southern flank. To date, they've struck more than 5,000 targets.
In that pursuit of those objectives, more than 50 Iranian Navy vessels have been destroyed, a 90% decrease in Iranian ballistic missile attacks, an 83% decrease in Iranian one-way drone attacks, and as you just heard from General Cain, more than 5,000 targets struck. Now, for context, that puts this closer to the scale of Libya than Iraq. But Secretary of War Pete Hegseth doesn't like any comparisons of this to Iraq.
The president has made it clear to those concerns that we're not getting pulled in any direction. We're leading. The president is leading. He's determining where we want to go, what the outcome will be, what the end state is, with a very keen eye. And I understand those concerns because I've heard from a lot of people who I went through 20 years of those wars myself, worried about getting dragged in, worried about mission creep, worried about nation building or democracy expansion. That's never the perspective the president has pursued on this. The American people voted for a different approach.
They sure did. And the American people have granted, in large part, the president of the United States the benefit of the doubt because he is to be trusted after his multi-decade record on forever war and his multi-decade rhetoric and record on the approach to Iran.
I don't want to brag, but you know, they've said this about a lot of things. No other president could do some of this I'm doing. No other president.
In the meantime, Iran's approach seems to be lashing out against its neighbors.
I think it was a demonstration of the desperation of that regime then and that regime now, that they still think their pathway out is to try to alienate their Arab partners even more, who've instead decided to come to us and have been willing to go on the offense, have been giving us access, spacing, and overflight in a new partnership that will continue to remake the region the way that President Trump did with the Abraham Accords. So you're pushing those countries in our direction to support this effort, further alienating Iran.
How's that working out for Iran?
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.